Alright, first things first. That music absolutely sucked. Like, that was like, oh my god. That music was terrible. It was really bad. But other than that, the trailer was absolutely tremendous. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the Battlefield 1 single player trailer. Now, I've been waiting a while for the trailer to come out. I knew it was going to come out in the next couple of weeks. Because we're about somewhere around like 23, 22. Last time I checked, it was 23 days. Around like 23, 22 days away from the worldwide release of Battlefield 1. And I cannot wait. But I was really looking forward to the single player mode. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, that music was terrible. It was all fucking cheery and fucking, they tried to make it this epic journey or whatever. I just wanted some hype music. And I did not get hyped by that music. As a matter of fact, I got dishyped, if that's even a phrase. That music was terrible. But let's get away from that. And let's talk about that fucking gameplay though. Man, them graphics were gorgeous. Obviously, the graphics are going to look a lot better when you're playing offline than online. And, we've been looking at online gameplay, multiplayer gameplay, and the graphics are absolutely gorgeous. Craters everywhere. The Frostbite engine has been improved to where, like, if you throw a grenade, you'll leave a crater. You can get in a crater and hide from bullets. Hide from gunfire. That shit is dope. All that shit is dope, especially when tanks shoot cannons and they blow up on the ground. And then obviously there's craters there that are even actually bigger. You can get, like I said, get into them and use them as cover, especially out in the open. Because we only played Sinai Desert or Sinai Desert, and there's 8 more maps that we have not played. 7 if you played the alpha and played I think it's San Quentin Scar, which was the map that I really wanted to play in the beta. Like I've said that before, that beta, I wanted San Quentin Scar. I wanted 2 maps, but I really wanted San Quentin Scar over the Sinai Desert because I just didn't. It was a good map once you got used to it, but I just didn't really like it as much. Getting caught out in the open. I don't like the fact that there was barely any cover on that map, and that was one of the problems, especially when you're not on C or D flag, I think it is, in the middle, in the little town area. Because if you're running out in the open, you're going to get that ass smoked quick, fast, and in a hurry. Especially by tanks, trains, horses, the cavalry's coming in, chopping your heads off. But back to the story mode gameplay, I was like, this is absolutely gorgeous. There was a standoff at the end with the Black American Harlem Hellfighter. Let's just call him serviceman because I don't even know what division he's in. I don't even think they had Marines back then, or the Army. Did they even call it the Army in World War I? I don't know what they called it. But anyways, he had to stand off with a German soldier, and then he was also narrating the entire trailer throughout. So whoever the voice actor was for that character was obviously narrating the entire trailer. You've seen tank action. You've seen trenches, a lot of explosions. You would have thought Michael Bay directed that hoe. Like, there was explosions everywhere. There was, horse gameplay, trains. You've seen some trains. You got to learn some of the characters. Now, the characters are going to be probably, make-em-ups. And for people who don't know what make-em-ups are, it's basically make-em-ups are just fucking like television shows or movies that are not based in reality or based on true events. I call them make-em-up stories. So I think that the characters around it are going to be slightly based on certain things that happen, but it's just going to be make-em-up characters to try to tell a good story, which I'm not mad at. But I did notice that there was a lot of there were some trench places, which I think might have been maybe the Battle of Somme, Verdun, but we don't know all the facts until the game comes out, obviously. But it looks fucking tremendous. I think the characters are gonna be basically written into the game as make 'em up characters, and they're just gonna go through these actual events. throughout the game. And you know, all in all, man, the graphics were absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure they're gonna have. They said, you know, there was speculation. Not they said. There was definitely speculation on the game being very short. But you know, 6 to 8 hours for a story mode is a good amount of time when we're talking about a first-person shooter. Because let's be honest, half the people that get Battlefield 1 aren't even gonna play this story. But for the people who do, I mean, what are they supposed to do? Make this some kind of RPG? Like, there's nothing. There's only so much storytelling you can write into a first-person shooter. And, you know, I've played first-person shooters, and just shooters in general, actually. Let's widen the gap here. Even third-person shooters like SOCOM. Like, there's only a certain amount, especially with a military shooter, there's only a certain amount of things you can write into the game. Like, I don't even think Call of Duty 4, one of the best story modes for a shooter, and one of the best Call of Duty story modes of all time, especially when you're talking about the mission All Gillied Up, one of the most iconic missions of all time. You know, that entire game was probably the same length as Battlefield 1. You know, probably 8 or 9. I don't even think it was 9 hours. I would doubt it's 9 hours. I might actually look that up after this commentary, but I'm guessing, and fact check me in the comments, that it's probably around 8 or maybe 9 hours. It might even be 6 or 7 hours. Like, I don't think it was that long. But, you know, you can't get mad at a short story if the story is really compelling every second of the story. You know, there's been games that were really fucking long, and, you know, a lot of people just get bored with it and be like, this is fucking dumb. Like, I've been playing for 3 hours and it hasn't got good yet. It hasn't got good yet. And I've been playing, I put 4 hours into the game. You know, that was the problem with The Witcher. A lot of people said that, you know, the content and the story wasn't really that exciting. But after you got past 3 or 4 hours, that's when it got lit. And they're pretty right about that. Once you got past the part where you killed the that bird or whatever the fuck, that's when the story started picking up. But not until then, or actually until you go to that castle and meet, I think, Ciri's uncle or dad. Not Ciri's, yeah, Ciri's uncle or dad. Once you meet him, that's when it starts getting lit. And that was like 3 or 4 hours into the game. So, you know, it's all about making the most amount of action in the shortest amount of time when it comes to first-person shooter story modes and third-person shooter story modes. So I think they'll do a good job of that. The graphics, like I think I've said it 3 or 4 times in this video. My God. My fucking God. Now, I know that was probably PC gameplay, but consoles look good too, okay? They look good too. They're not going to look like garbage. They're going to be playable, you know? They're definitely going to hover, well, probably in the story mode. It'll probably stay locked at 60 frames until there was like 30 explosions. Because I know on PlayStation, if you play the, what's that shit called? Domination. If you play Domination on Battlefield 4, which has no vehicles, no nothing, it's just, you know, 3 flag domination like Call of Duty, it stays at a steady 60 frames per second. So that's probably how it'll work in the if it can do that online with people, with explosions and all kinds of people shooting at people, it will be fine in the story mode. It'll probably stay locked at 60 with maybe some drops here or there. We don't really know at the moment, but back to the graphics, it's gonna look good across all platforms. The game isn't going to be on Xbox 360 or PS3, so there will be no holding back of the graphics. There will be none of that. It's going to be a pure next-gen shooter, and my fucking God, those graphics were tremendous. There was a lot of planes flying all over the place. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I cannot wait until this game comes out. We're only 20 days away. I'm so fucking bored. I don't even know what to do with myself. I can't. I'm bored, bruh. I'm bored. And with that being said, you know, to summarize the whole entire video, you know, the game looks fucking amazing. There's gonna be trench warfare here or there. There's gonna be, it's gonna play like a World War II game. Because if they made it an actual legit World War I game, it would be boring as fuck. If they were to try to be too historically accurate. Like, if they were to try to start the war start making the game, you know, if the multiplayer played as how the first war started, World War started at the very beginning. If you know about the history of it, the tanks didn't get introduced until like 1915, 1916. You know, it was just all trench warfare, boring. Sitting in a trench, getting murked, charging the line with bayonets and getting murked. That was the entire first 2 years of World War I. It was dumb, boring shit. So if they were to make the multiplayer like that, it would absolutely, positively suck. So, you know, I'm glad they're keeping it, you know, a little bit, not too fast-paced, but keeping it, you know, encourages people to move around on multiplayer. And it's going to be a great fucking game. I can't wait. I don't think anybody is not hyped about this game. It's going to be the shit. And with that being said, like and subscribe, all that bullshit. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm out of this bitch. Peace.